Hey, thanks for checking out Fast Eddie's Chop Shop. Here you have every right to be wrong, and I'm going to break it down for you. Our country is unraveling, folks. If you, it's like you have a friend who has a great life, going on the right path, and then they start to go down the wrong path, maybe get addicted to drugs, and their life starts to fall apart. They lose their friends, their families, their home, become homeless and destitute. Well, we're watching that happen to our country. Our country is headed towards homelessness and destitution, is what it is. As a country, we are now standing in the middle of the street talking to things that aren't there because we're allowing that to happen. You know, if you look at it on an individual basis, that's what's happening in the bigger picture. So when you're seeing all these people walking around the streets, more and more homeless, talking to themselves, needing of help but not getting help, and more of it, that's because we're not making people get help anymore. We're not making our country get help anymore. Where before, if somebody said, you know, I'm a cat, and walked around meowing, we would get that person help, unless they were a little child and were playing a game. And we allow them to do that for a short moment, you know, and get into their imagination. But we don't allow that to continue. But we as a country, on an individual basis, have told every American, you can be and do whatever you want to be and do. And, you know, that's just never been true. Yes, we're a free country. Yes, you have individual freedoms. You have a right to say, within reason, is, you know, as long as it doesn't, you know, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but within reason, you can say anything you want. You can certainly believe anything you want. You have that right. But there's a right between, there's a difference between rights and duty. We have a right to say and be and do whatever we want to do, but we don't have that. That's not our duty. Our duty is to not be, say, and do whatever we feel like being and saying and doing at the moment. And when we see other people that are falling off the edge and not doing their duty, we as Americans have always tried to bring them back in, gotten them help. We're not doing that anymore. No, Americans don't have duties anymore. Whatever happened to your duty? Forget about what your rights are. Forget about, you know, let's talk about what's right. What's your duty? There's rights and there's what's right. And Americans have always have had the right to do anything we want, basically, but we've never put that forth as a duty. So we need to really come back to duties. I, as a father, have a duty to my children. When they're young, that duty is strong. Mothers and fathers have a duty to make sure that that child is fed and clothed and protected. And as they get older, they assume that duty for themselves to make sure they're fed and make sure they're clothed and make sure they're protected. Now, my duty never goes away as a father, and my wife's duty as a mother never goes away. I don't care if I'm 100 and they're 75 years old. There's always a duty. But when they're older, they now have a duty to take care of the old man. You know, should the old man or mom need taken care of whenever they're older. See, these are duties. Now, I have a right to not care about my children. But what's right is that I do. See the difference? And we have to get back to knowing what's right, not what the rights are. You know, that kid walking down the street, that young man walking down the street thinking he's a dog, barking like a dog, says he's a dog, but he's not a dog. Sure, he has a right to do that, but is it right? Both morally, ethically, genetically, no. We have a right to ignore that person. We have a right to do that. We have a right to turn the other way and say, Let the wackos be the wackos. But what's right is that we say something, we do something. Our duty as Americans is that we bend down and reach down and help people out of the mire. So just think about what I'm saying for a moment, and pass it on, if you will, that there is a difference between your rights and what is right and what your duties are. Again, let's stop worrying about our rights and start worrying about what is right. Because as a country, if we as a people and then our government do what is right, we never have to worry about our rights. Ever. Have a good one. Let me know what you think.